Hi, it's Carol here from thestampingground.co.uk, and I'd like to show you how to make this lovely black and gold Christmas card, which I think is very striking. I have cased this from the internet, and I will leave details over on my blog. I've also altered it ever so slightly, and I hope you enjoy watching me make it. I've used a few different stamp sets. I've used these little dots, which I've done here in gold from the Colour and Contour stamp set. I've also used Holly Jolly Wishes for the inscription both on the front and also inside. And I think it's a nice stamp set for Christmas. I just want to show you the dies that I've used. They are called Poinsettia dies, and as you can see, you get a lot. Inside the holly and also the poinsettias, you get an embossing piece as well. You can either use that with the cutout, or you can use the stamp and then cut them out. So it's quite versatile here. I've not used the stamps on this actual card. I just wanted to show you it. I've used 3 poinsettias, these 2 and this little one. And this piece here, I think it's like berries, but I use that a lot, not just for Christmas. I use it in lots of different sprays when I'm making cards. It's very handy. And just look at the gold here, how it shines. It's absolutely beautiful. I'll just pop this to one side. I've also, if you look, the holly leaves are just plain cut out. I've not used a stamp or the embossing piece, and I've cut them out using the vellum cardstock, and it's a lovely thick vellum, and you get, I think it's 24 sheets in a pack. The gold that I've used on the inscription and the flower is the metallic gold embossing powder, and these come in a pack of 3. I think you get bronze, silver and gold, and I think whichever you used from the pack would look lovely. So we'll pop this to one side, and I'm just going to show you how I cut the cardstock. I take an A4 piece of cardstock, and it measures 8 1/4, and I cut at 8 inch, because when you're doing the layers, it's a lot easier to calculate the layers. So don't throw this piece away, because it's great for inscriptions. And it measures 11 3/4, and I cut at 11 1/2. So you're taking just a tiny smidgen off this side as well. And then for the fold that we're doing, I'm going to cut at 4 inch. So now we've got 2 pieces for 2 cards, or whatever you want to do with the other piece, and then we're going to score at 5 3/4. Make sure your cutting blades out of the way, and that's our card cut. Now we're going to put that away then. We actually need the top layer, which I go down 1/4 inch, so we're going to cut at 5 1/2, and then on this side we're going to cut at 3 3/4 inch. I will put all the measurements over on the blog as well, so you don't have to write anything down. And then I'm just going to burnish the score line, and then that will sit on like that. I've actually cut out the poinsettia petals, and I'm not sure if you can see on camera, but you can see the embossing on the petals. I've cut out the vellum holly leaves, cut out 4, and I only need 3. but we'll pop that one in the box for later use. I'm using the Simply Elegant trim. You get a gold and a silver in here, fabulous for Christmas. And I'll just show you again the gold on the Poinsettia petals. Now each one will come out different, but that's great if you're making a few of these. They'll all look slightly different. You can also place the poinsettia on the card in a different position if you like. So I'll just pop all these to one side. I'm going to get a piece of scrap computer paper, and we need the front, not the base card, we just need the front of the card. And don't forget, if you need any of the supplies, you can purchase these over on my online shop. All the measurements and everything I've used in making this card will be over at thestampingground.co.uk. So I'm using the Versamark ink along with the stamp from the hand pen Petals, and I'm just stamping in the right hand corner, leaving a gap, and then stamping again. So just pop that up to one side, and then we're just going to sprinkle over the embossing powder. And then just tap it off. Now I'll just pop this back in the pot, otherwise I know it will get all over. Now I'm going to use the heat tool, so I will actually turn the sound off so you don't have to listen to it. And it doesn't matter how many times I do that, I love watching it melt and just go all shiny. It's lovely. Now, when it comes to the petals, we're just going to take our Versamark again, and I'm just going to dab each petal, so you can add as much or as little as you want. And just make sure you go around each petal. So it's very easy, and this is why I say no two cards, well, no two poinsettias will be the same. I think oops, I missed that one, maybe just add a bit more. And then sprinkle over. We'll leave the largest poinsettia petal black, but if you want to add a bit of gold, then by all means do. And then just knock all the, whoops, just pop those over there and get this back in the pot quickly. And when you pick these petals up to use with the heat gun, just make sure you find something to pick them up with. I'm using a pair of tweezers, that way you won't burn your fingers. And I'll also turn the sound off now. So once these are done, we take our large poinsettia petal and just pop it in the palm of your hand and just give a little press. It gives it some movement rather than being just completely flat. And then we're going to take the mini glue dots and pop them onto the back of each one, and then making sure that you alternate the petals. Oops, I've not got quite central. There we are. And then one on the small one. Now I'm going to pop 3 on the back of here so that we can attach the gold trim. I've not got that quite in the centre. It's probably easier doing it this way, and I can see where I'm putting them. And then take your trim and just attach it, and then make the loops as large or as small as you want, and as many as you want really. I'm just going to do 3 here. And then when you're happy with what you've got, just snip off with the scissors. And that would look lovely on a gift bag as well, or even a gift tag. So you can make these in abundance. The silver would look nice on red. It would also look nice on black as well. Now we're just going to pop 3 dimensionals just to pop it off the card. Oops, making sure you don't pull the trim with it. And then just place it how you'd like it. And then we need to just pop our holly leaves under. Again, I'm going to use the glue dot. Just have a look where you want them. I think on the first card that you saw, I felt I'd left the holly leaves too far out. I want them tucked quite tight under the poinsettia. So again, attach your glue dots to the end. And then I just give it a little press. Whoops, I've attached it to the other holly. We shall try again. Doesn't want to go under now. There we are. And if you can't, because there's dimensionals on the bag, that will restrict how far you can put your holly leaves. So if you can't tuck it in far enough, you can always cut the end of the holly leaf off, and then that will help you get it further in. There. And then the last one. Oh no, this is restricted with the dimensionals, so No, it's not going to go. So I'm going to cut, just going to cut the end off and add a new glue dot. There. It might be worth popping the holly leaves down first and then popping the poinsettia on top. That way you won't have that problem. So now we need to make our inscription, and we're going to heat emboss this as well. I'm going to use the Holly Jolly Wishes stamp set, which is a great, lots of inscriptions for Christmas. I don't think you'd need any others. And then we need a piece of black cardstock and our Versamark ink, and then we're just going to stamp onto the cardstock. When you stamp, just make sure you have enough room around the inscription to cut it out. We're going to use the seasonal label dies for this. And again, it's a set of dies that can be used all year round. So make sure you pop a piece of computer paper over, and then you don't lose any of your embossing powder. So just sprinkle over and then shake off. Make sure you always pop this back in the pot, because if you don't, you will knock it. There'll be powder all over, and you certainly don't want to lose any. So again, I'm going to use the heat tool on this, so I'm just going to turn the sound off. And if you're making a few of these Christmas cards, or you'd like to use this inscription in gold on any other, then just stamp a few out, and then you can use the heat tool on them all, and you've got them for when you need them. So we're just going to take our die and cut this out. Just make sure you line it up so that it's nice and straight. I'll be back in a minute. And here we are, all done, and we just need to turn this over and pop some dimensionals onto the back. And then just place it where you want it on the bottom right, and make sure you have it level. I think the black and gold together is stunning. Now we need to put this onto the front of our card, and I'm going to use dimensionals again, but instead of just you can use the small ones, but it would take a lot. And I'm going to use these foam adhesive strips. You get 2 sheets in a pack, and it says there are 40 strips. So I'm just going to cut across so that they're the right, roughly the right size. And then you're going to go all the way around the card. So I will skip through this. So I've put them on the back, and I've taken all the backing off. I'm making sure you've got it the right way up. Just place it in the middle with a border around the edge. So the centerpiece measures 3 3/4 by 5.5, and we're going to use black Memento ink. So ink up your stamp, and I always like to take a piece of scrap paper, computer paper or whatever, and just make sure you've either got it straight on your block, and also that it's stamping okay. You also have two tries at this, because if you get it wrong on this side, you can always turn it over and have another go on the other side. So we just now need to insert this into the centre of the card, and I'm going to use some liquid glue on this and just pop it in the centre. If you wanted to keep your card all black and gold, you could have stamped with the Versamark inside or on another piece of black, and you could have heat embossed in gold. So there are different options. So that's our card finished, and I hope you like it as much as I did when I first saw this design. It can be adapted for many other colours and designs. So I hope you have a play and come up with some of your own ideas as well. Find the link to my blog down in the description bar below. If you've enjoyed the video, please leave me a comment, and I'll be back very soon with another project. So thank you for joining me, and I'll see you very soon.